You might be genuinely surprised to learn that some vegetables you believe are healthy can actually undermine your well-being without you even noticing. Consistently eating the wrong types of vegetables can weaken your immune system and accelerate brain aging, and most alarmingly, damage your mobility, specifically the strength and stability of your legs. These findings are supported by dozens of studies published in the Journal of Gerontology, where researchers track tens of thousands of older adults over the course of many years. At first glance, these common vegetables may appear perfectly harmless. However, behind this seemingly innocent appearance could lie serious consequences: inflammation, damage to small blood vessels in the lower limbs, impaired coordination, and even difficulty walking. All of these issues lead directly to falls, which are widely known as one of the leading causes of serious injuries among people over the age of 65. But there is good news. In this video, you will find a clear and simple guide outlining which 3 vegetables you should include in your diet every day in order to protect your health, preserve mental clarity, and maintain mobility. It will also tell you which 3 vegetables you must avoid at all costs if you want to safeguard your balance and slow down age-related decline. It is especially important to watch until the very end. A shocking revelation awaits. One commonly eaten vegetable, often praised for its benefits, may actually be slowly damaging the health of your legs. And chances are you have no idea how harmful it really is. This video is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If you want to take control of your health like a pro, give it a like, and let's get started. 1. Broccoli, a natural defense against aging after the age of 60. You may not have realized it, but broccoli is more than just a vegetable that occasionally appears on your plate. It is a powerful tool for extending longevity and preserving the health of your legs, joints, blood vessels, and even cognitive functions during a time when the body begins to lose its former strength. You might be familiar with the word sulforaphane. This compound is found in high amounts in broccoli and has already been recognized as one of the most powerful natural activators of the body's internal defense systems. According to a 2023 study conducted by the Nutrition and Aging Center at Tufts University, older adults who regularly consumed broccoli had 32% lower levels of chronic inflammation biomarkers compared to participants of the same age in the control group who did not include this vegetable in their diet. Why is this important? Chronic inflammation is one of the key drivers of accelerated aging. It damages joints, weakens the heart, impairs brain function, and most importantly, leads to reduced mobility and muscle strength. That means even a simple walk can become a challenge. Now imagine that a single vegetable can slow this process down. Sulforaphane helps the body eliminate toxins, repair damaged cells, and activate protective proteins. A study published in 2022 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that older men and women who included between 1 and 1.5 cups of broccoli in their daily diet improved their vascular function by 18% within 6 weeks, particularly in the lower extremities. But broccoli is not just about sulforaphane. It is also rich in vitamin K, a key nutrient for bone health. According to the National Institute of Arthritis and Musculoskeletal and Skin Diseases, women over the age of 65 lose up to 1.5% of bone density per year. A lack of vitamin K and calcium can accelerate this loss. Yet 1 serving of steamed broccoli provides up to 220 micrograms of vitamin K, which exceeds 100% of the recommended daily intake for older women and men. Additionally, broccoli contains natural antioxidants that protect blood vessels from calcification. Vascular calcification is one of the most dangerous and often unnoticed changes that come with aging. It impairs circulation, raises blood pressure, and increases the workload on the heart. In 2021, the United States National Institute on Aging confirmed that older individuals whose diets were rich in antioxidant-containing vegetables, including broccoli, had a 27% lower risk of vascular insufficiency. As for leg health, this is where broccoli plays an especially crucial role. Improved circulation in the legs, particularly for older adults with type 2 diabetes, reduces the risk of numbness, pain, and even amputation. A 2023 study by the University of Illinois showed that regular broccoli consumption improved blood flow in the capillaries of the feet and toes by 19% in people over the age of 60 with signs of diabetic angiopathy. However, all these benefits are only possible if broccoli is prepared correctly. The best method is to steam it for 2 to 4 minutes at a temperature of approximately 90 degrees Celsius, 194 degrees Fahrenheit. This method helps preserve sulforaphane and most of the vitamins. If it is boiled or stewed for more than 7 minutes, the levels of active compounds drop sharply. Broccoli becomes soft and loses nearly everything that makes it truly beneficial. That is why it is best to keep it bright green and slightly crunchy. For an older person, a plate of broccoli is more than just a side dish. It is an investment in strong bones, healthy blood vessels, mental clarity, and muscle strength. It is a way to say to your body every day, I am with you, I will support you. And yet, broccoli is just the beginning. There is another green food, humble and underrated, that not only helps support the heart and brain, but may also help preserve the strength in your legs. What is this leafy green, and how does it help you keep moving forward with each passing year? We will discuss that in the next section. 2. Spinach, a hidden source of strength, memory, and healthy circulation. After the age of 60, you might think that spinach is just a harmless leafy green sitting quietly on your plate, a garnish next to the main course. But in reality, it can play a vital role in supporting your mobility, sharpening your memory, and even slowing down many of the age-related changes we tend to accept as inevitable. As we grow older, our bodies gradually lose the ability to maintain active blood flow, especially to the muscles, brain, and extremities. This decline often shows up as heaviness in the legs, reduced endurance, and quick fatigue and difficulty with memory and focus. But spinach can quietly and steadily intervene in this process. Spinach is rich in natural nitrates. Inside the body, these compounds are converted into nitric oxide, a molecule that dilates blood vessels, enhances arterial elasticity, and allows blood to flow more smoothly and efficiently. A study conducted in 2021 at the Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University found that older adults who consumed spinach or beet-based meals daily improved their peripheral circulation by 21% in just 4 weeks. What does this mean in practical terms? More energy in your legs, fewer cramps and spasms, easier time climbing stairs, and most importantly, a steadier gait and a reduced risk of losing balance, which is known to be one of the most common causes of serious injury among seniors. But spinach does not only benefit the body, it also actively supports mental clarity. It contains lutein, a powerful antioxidant capable of crossing into the brain and protecting neural tissue. In a joint study conducted in 2022 by the United States National Institute on Aging and Tufts University, older adults with higher levels of lutein in their blood processed information 25% faster than those who consumed little to no lutein. And that is not all. Spinach also acts as a true shield for your vision. It contains both zeaxanthin and lutein in concentrations necessary to protect the macula, the central part of the retina. When macular sensitivity declines, it becomes harder to read, recognize faces, and navigate through space. A 2023 study from the University of Illinois showed that eating just 60 grams of fresh spinach every day for 2 months lowered the risk of age-related macular degeneration by 29%. Spinach is also a notable source of folate, a B vitamin involved in the transmission of signals between neurons and the synthesis of dopamine, which is responsible for mood and motivation. Among older adults, folate deficiency is directly linked to memory decline. This is why spinach has become a key ingredient in the MIND diet, developed at the University of Chicago to help prevent age-related cognitive decline. However, the method of preparation is critical. The most beneficial forms are raw spinach in salads, lightly sautéed spinach without long cooking, or blended into fruit and water smoothies. When spinach is boiled or stewed for longer than 7 minutes, a large portion of its lutein and folate content is destroyed. The best approach is gentle heat treatment, no more than 2 to 3 minutes over low heat, up to 80 degrees Celsius, 176 degrees Fahrenheit. So, spinach is far more than just a green side dish. It is a partner in healthy circulation, a source of leg strength, a supporter of memory, and a true guardian of your eyesight. And all of that comes from just 1 handful of greens a day. It requires no special effort, no expensive supplements, and no complicated recipes. Just a conscious choice in the store and in your kitchen. Next, we will take a closer look at another vegetable. It is bright, juicy, and often found in salads. But few people realize that this particular root vegetable can support your balance, coordination, and even enhance your reflexes. What is this vegetable and why should you include it in your meals at least once a week? That is exactly what we will cover in the next section. 3. Carrots, a quiet guardian of your vision, balance, and vitality after the age of 60. In life, it is often the most modest things that turn out to be the most powerful. That is certainly true of carrots. This familiar vegetable from childhood is more than just a crunchy snack. It is a daily investment in your stability, vision, mobility, and mental clarity, especially after the age of 65. Let us start with the most important aspect, vision, because vision is safety. It allows you to see the step beneath your feet, recognize the face of a loved one, read the label on a medication bottle, or simply enjoy a sunset. Unfortunately, as we age, our eyesight often begins to fade, but carrots can help preserve its sharpness. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, a compound that the body converts into vitamin A. The United States National Eye Institute confirmed in a 2022 study that older adults with sufficient vitamin A levels had a 28% lower risk of developing age-related macular degeneration compared to those with a deficiency. This condition is one of the leading causes of visual decline after the age of 65. Just one medium carrot contains approximately 835 micrograms of beta-carotene, covering nearly 93% of the daily vitamin A requirement for older individuals. But the benefits of carrots go beyond eye health. They also support your sense of balance and coordination. Carrots contain antioxidants that protect nerve endings from oxidative damage associated with aging. It is the nervous system that sends rapid signals between the brain and the legs. A study published in 2023 by the University of Colorado in Boulder found that participants over the age of 70 who ate carrots at least 3 times per week performed 19% better on balance tests than those who avoided them. Carrots also promote metabolic health. One medium carrot contains about 2.8 grams of dietary fiber. Fiber helps reduce blood sugar levels, control appetite, and support digestive health. What is especially important for older adults is that fiber from carrots helps stabilize cholesterol levels. A 2022 study from Iowa State University found that regular carrot consumption reduced total blood cholesterol by 11% in just 8 weeks. Lower cholesterol not only helps prevent atherosclerosis, it also improves blood circulation to the legs, brain, and heart. That means it helps prevent weakness, numbness, and problems with coordination. The better your blood flows, the more energetic and active you feel. To get the most benefit, carrots are best consumed raw or lightly steamed at a temperature no higher than 85 degrees Celsius, 185 degrees Fahrenheit. High heat cooking destroys up to 40% of beta-carotene and vitamin C. So grated carrots in a salad, cut into sticks as a snack, or blended into a morning smoothie are not just tasty, they are an investment in your balance, vision, and vitality. For older adults, it is especially important to include at least 1 or 2 carrots in the daily diet. They can be part of dinner, a garnish in soup, or an ingredient in a fresh salad. What matters most is consistency, because it is these simple daily habits that build strong protection against age-related changes. And yet, while carrots help strengthen the body and the senses, not all vegetables in your kitchen work so gently and protectively. Some, despite their popularity, may silently erode leg strength, impair circulation, and undermine balance. What are these vegetables, and why are they risky for the aging body? That is what we will explore in the next section. Now let us take a closer look at the 3 vegetables older adults should never include in their diet. 1. Eggplant, a hidden threat to mobility and comfort after the age of 60. At first glance, eggplant seems harmless, perhaps even beneficial. It often appears in healthy recipes with its rich purple color and soft texture giving it a wholesome image. But when it comes to health after the age of 65, especially the condition of your legs, joints, and overall ease of movement, eggplant may not be the friend many believe it to be. The issue lies in a compound called solanine, a natural chemical that plants in the nightshade family, including potatoes and tomatoes, produce as a defense against pests. In small amounts, solanine is not dangerous, but for older adults whose bodies have become more sensitive, it can trigger inflammation, particularly in the joints and soft tissues. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Inflammation Research by Arizona State University found that older adults with osteoarthritis who consumed nightshade vegetables at least 4 times a week had 21% higher levels of inflammation markers in their blood compared to those who avoided these foods. People with existing joint issues such as arthritis, gout, or nerve pain were especially vulnerable to these effects. Inflammation can show up in different ways. It is not always sharp pain. It might be stiffness in the knees, heaviness in the calves, or weakness in the feet that becomes noticeable when climbing stairs or walking through a store. These symptoms, if ignored, gradually erode confidence in movement, making walking unsteady and limiting physical freedom. Yet, the ability to walk, stand up unaided, and maintain balance is the foundation of independence in later life. Solanine affects more than just joints. A 2023 study by the University of Georgia found that even after cooking, eggplant retains about 60% of its original solanine content. This means frying, roasting, or stewing does not eliminate it. And when consumed regularly, this cumulative effect becomes particularly significant for people over the age of 65. In addition to inflammation, solanine can irritate the digestive tract and reduce muscle tone, which is particularly risky for the legs. If muscles become sluggish and less responsive, it directly affects balance. That is when a person starts to avoid long walks and may even become fearful of standing up without support. Sadly, this is often how a slow decline in physical activity begins. It is important to understand that not every older adult will feel immediate effects from one meal containing eggplant. But after the age of 65, the body's ability to resist small but consistent stressors weakens. While some vegetables strengthen tissues, restore blood vessels, and support brain function, eggplant can act as a silent saboteur, especially in bodies already dealing with low-grade inflammation. From an emotional perspective, losing mobility is not just a physical discomfort. It can lead to feelings of vulnerability, dependency, and restriction. When joint pain or fear of falling makes someone avoid walks, gatherings with friends, or even a trip to the store, their quality of life declines. And it could all be linked to a vegetable that once seemed completely innocent. If you are used to eating eggplant, now may be the time to reconsider that habit, especially if you have noticed mild leg pain, stiffness, or fatigue after walking. While some people may tolerate solanine without any issue, data from the United States National Institute for Rheumatic Aging shows that in 3 out of 10 older adults with arthritis or musculoskeletal problems, nightshade vegetables worsen symptoms within 3 to 5 days of regular consumption. There are plenty of alternatives: zucchini, cauliflower, broccoli, pumpkin, all of which are free from solanine and, in fact, help reduce inflammation, support joints, and promote healthy legs and blood vessels. Swapping out one vegetable for another may seem like a small change, but it can make a big difference in your quality of life. Still, eggplant is only one of several sneaky foods. There are others, bright, attractive, and popular, that may slowly undermine your strength. Some of them affect the brain, others target the circulatory system, and some work directly on the muscles in your legs. Want to find out which of them may already be sitting in your kitchen and what you should avoid to preserve energy and balance for as long as possible? Let us move on to the next section. There is plenty of surprising information ahead. 2. Green bell pepper, a hidden spark of inflammation that can undermine leg and vascular health after the age of 60. As we grow older, every dietary choice becomes more significant. The body no longer tolerates carelessness, and the effects of seemingly harmless foods may not show up right away, but instead unfold over months or even years. Green bell pepper is one such example. Bright, crisp, and familiar since childhood, it is often seen as a symbol of healthy eating. But surprisingly for the aging body, it may not be the ally it appears to be. The concern goes beyond the fact that green bell pepper belongs to the nightshade family. What makes it especially problematic is its content of lectins, special plant proteins that serve a protective function for the plant. In the human body, particularly as it ages, these proteins can bind to the cells lining the intestinal wall, disrupting the gut barrier and interfering with the absorption of essential nutrients. A 2022 study by the Aging and Immune Function Laboratory at Tufts University found that adults over the age of 65 who were sensitive to lectins had twice the level of inflammatory cytokines in their blood compared to those who avoided nightshade vegetables, including green bell peppers. What does this mean in real life? It starts with subtle signs. Your legs may begin to feel heavy, it becomes harder to get out of bed in the morning, and your walk feels less stable. You might notice a slight tingling in your toes or feel like your shoes are suddenly too tight. These symptoms are not just signs of aging. They may be caused by low-level chronic inflammation, which reduces nerve sensitivity, weakens circulation, and diminishes muscle response. The legs are often the first to be affected. In 2023, the Center for the Study of Falls in Older Adults at the University of North Carolina reported that among individuals over the age of 65 who consumed green peppers and other nightshades daily, 34% experienced increased balance issues and a higher frequency of falls due to food-triggered inflammation. Here lies another disadvantage. Unlike red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, which are fully ripened, green bell peppers contain only about half the antioxidants. For example, according to data from the United States National Institute on Nutrition and Aging, red bell peppers contain up to 127 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams, whereas green bell peppers contain only about 63 milligrams. That means you are getting less benefit and more potential risk. While cooking does reduce lectin content to some extent, it does not eliminate it entirely. Even after roasting or stewing at temperatures above 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, around 40% of lectins remain active, especially in vegetables that are undercooked or lightly sautéed, as often seen in salads and omelets. Of course, not everyone will feel negative effects after a single meal with green bell pepper. But if you already have arthritis, digestive issues, circulatory problems, or diabetes, your body is more sensitive, even to mild food irritants. For an older body, which needs every bit of energy, stability, and strength, this kind of food can become a subtle but persistent threat to internal balance. Fortunately, the solution is simple. Replace green bell peppers with their ripened counterparts, red, yellow, or orange peppers. These are not only milder in taste, but also richer in antioxidants, lutein, and carotenoids that support vision and vascular health. Or you can try eliminating nightshade vegetables entirely for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. Many people report noticeable improvements in just 10 to 14 days. Sometimes what you choose not to eat matters more than what you include, especially when the goal is to keep moving without fear, to stand strong, to maintain your reflexes, and to live with vitality. Unfortunately, green bell pepper too often hides behind its healthy image, while its actual effects may be quite the opposite. But this is not the end of the story. The next vegetable is even more deceptive. It is common, simple, and found in many daily meals. Yet it may interfere with heart function, damage blood vessels, and lower muscle tone in your legs, even though it seems completely harmless on the surface. Ready to learn the truth about it? Then let us move on to the next section. 3. White potatoes, a comfort food that quietly undermines strength and stability after the age of 60. Potatoes. That soft, hearty, and familiar taste from childhood. Mashed with gravy at family dinners, pan-fried on Sundays, or baked in foil, they are not just food. They represent warmth, comfort, and care. And that is exactly why the truth about them can feel so unexpected, especially for those who have reached their 60s and beyond. The problem is that white potatoes, despite their innocent appearance, can pose a hidden risk for older adults, particularly when it comes to strength, balance, and vascular health. It is not that they are toxic or inherently dangerous. The concern lies in the fact that white potatoes are high in starch and have a very high glycemic index. This means that after eating them, blood sugar levels spike almost as quickly as they would after eating sugar or white bread. A 2023 study from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that older adults who regularly consumed white potatoes experienced 38% more frequent glucose spikes than those who opted for slower digesting alternatives like sweet potatoes or whole grains. At first glance, this may not seem like a big deal, but when these spikes happen consistently, they trigger low-level inflammation in the blood vessels, particularly those that supply the legs, brain, and heart. In older adults whose capillaries are already narrower and whose vascular elasticity is reduced, this leads to a buildup of problems. Leg cramps, cold feet, numb toes, and even balance issues. In 2022, the University of Colorado published research showing that seniors with high potato intake performed 22% worse on balance and coordination tests than those who favored vegetables richer in fiber and antioxidants. But there is more. Foods with a high glycemic index, such as white potatoes, contribute over time to the development of arteriosclerosis, a condition where the walls of blood vessels become stiff and less flexible. This restricts blood flow to the legs and brain, causing chronic fatigue and slower reflexes. These are direct contributors to falls and reduced independence. Now consider how potatoes are usually prepared, with butter, cream, cheese, and salt, in mashed dishes or baked servings. This dramatically increases the strain on the heart. In 2023, the American College of Cardiology confirmed that white potatoes combined with saturated fats raise the risk of lipid profile disorders in older adults by 31%, even in those with a healthy body weight. To make matters worse, white potatoes contain very few protective nutrients. Unlike carrots, beets, or even pumpkin, they are low in antioxidants, the very compounds that protect cells from oxidative stress, which plays a key role in tissue aging, weakened immunity, and loss of muscle strength. In other words, every time an older adult puts white potatoes on their plate, they are choosing a food that gradually weakens rather than strengthens. This is especially concerning for those with high blood pressure, diabetes, nerve sensitivity in the legs, or cardiovascular problems. So, what is the solution? Giving up white potatoes does not mean giving up taste or comfort. It simply means choosing more wisely. You can substitute them with sweet potatoes, which are rich in beta-carotene and fiber. Or try boiled cauliflower, celery root mash, pumpkin, or parsnips. These foods nourish not only the stomach, but also the blood vessels, nerves, brain, and muscles. Choosing foods that support steady energy, flexible blood vessels, and stable steps is a deep form of self-care. Because leg strength, mental clarity, and confident movement are the very qualities that define how free, fulfilling, and active your life can be after the age of 65. And as for white potatoes, they can remain part of warm memories. But in the present, you have the chance to make choices that work for you, not against you. If you have something to share or want to ask a question, feel free to leave a comment. Next, I recommend checking out these videos, and don't forget to leave your likes and comments. I'm looking forward to them.